and gentlemen, namaste and a very warm welcome to all of you to the Blub World Web Talks 161st episode. In the last 160 episodes, we have talked to, interacted with nearly 3,000 plus school leaders on this very platform where they've shared their ideas, opinions, innovation, and what all new are they doing in the school space. So today as well, with our amazing speakers, we'll be trying to understand from them how is education changing, and most importantly, how are different aspects of the learner's life changing. And we are today going to talk about something that's impacting our lives, the lives of the learners, and everybody in and around our complete ecosystem very deeply. We're going to talk about the social media currency. Now, typically bringing these two words together makes a different kind of a monster in itself. Can it really be called a currency, or it has a lot of nuisance value? This is what we'll try to understand in the next 6 minutes that we have. Before we start, just to tell you or introduce you to the platform, Blub World Web Talks is a speaking sprint. So once your speaking time is over, you might get muted. If you get muted, please don't get offended. It's just to finish the activity on time and keep it interesting and engaging for everyone. So try to put your best foot forward and try to put in the best ideas that you have. Secondly, it's a bilingual platform, so you can use English or Hindi, any of these two languages during the complete conversation. Try sticking to these two languages. If you want to use a third one, you can, but I won't get it. So try using English and Hindi in the next 60 minutes. Thank you so much everybody for joining in. Once it's your time to speak, our team will unmute you. Till then, keep yourself on mute during the complete conversation. Once again, a very warm welcome to all of you to the Blub World Web Talks 161st episode. Let's talk about the social media currency. So to initiate the topic, let me first invite somebody who can add the bird's eye view to the topic, somebody who can bring in the higher education perspective on how does social media impact teens, and most importantly, when we talk of social media as a currency, we still, as adults, are obsessed with it. We are obsessed with the likes and the shares and the views that we get, and that impacts the teen life even more at even a much deeper level. So what do you think? Is it really a currency, or it's just a lot of nuisance value that we're enjoying a lot? So let me invite the first speaker for today, Mr. Amogh Balakrishnan, the head of marketing for MIT Alandi campus, Pune, Maharashtra. Amogh ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. A very warm welcome, and the next 3 minutes are yours.
Thank you very much, Daksh. A very warm good evening to all the other panelists. This is something that's very close to my heart. So I've been in education for the last 10 years almost in across the spectrum. And I've been, of course, on the marketing and the sales side of the business end. So, as I see it, marketing is a contest to get people's attention. And if you just look at the numbers, sheer numbers drive the strategy that I'm currently using in my organization. You're looking at internet penetration of about 750 million users in India. And if you compare it with the United States, where the penetration is close to about 88% of the population, in terms of sheer numbers, we are still 3 times more in terms of internet usage. So obviously the market is there. And if you're talking about the demography where, about 18 to 30, in the age bracket of 18 to 35, we are close to about 50% of the population. So about 750 million people are in that category, which is exactly my target audience, right? So social media, yes, it is a bane at some times, no doubt, but mostly it is a boon. Because if I see it as a currency, I mean, we're looking at influencers, we're looking at where my target audience is actually lying. So let's say my target audience is between the ages of 18 and 21. Where will we find them? We will typically find them on Facebook or Instagram or on a Snapchat or now banned TikTok. But then, yes, that is where they are. And because of the accessibility of internet and how cheap it has become, at least in India, that is where the market is. So as I see it, 80% of my marketing strategy is on social media. And the currency that I am looking at is the fact that you can influence people there, because that is where the audience is, right? So this is going to be a very, very big part of our marketing strategies going forward. And whether you want to call it fortunately or unfortunately, due to the pandemic, what has happened is we've learned that we can still get in the attention without stepping out of our homes, right? So by just sitting at home or even just working from your office, you are actually reaching out to your target audience. So even the target audience has realized that, yes, I have access to information and I have access to other influencers or this is where my currency lies. So we as organizations, or I as an individual in that organization, can expend that currency to, achieve my end goal, which at the end of the day is probably, reaching out to masses, create an influence, trying to improve leads, trying to improve footfalls, or eventually, improve the numbers, as, crudely put it, sales. So yes, so social media currency is a big thing. It's here to stay. And given the fact that internet is also here, and the fact that there are more and more social media platforms coming up, this is going to be an integral part of our entire marketing strategy going forward. And not just education, but other services, other products as well, right? Because even if people were at home during the lockdown, they were still getting things delivered to their homes, right? So that means they have access to information, they have access to a lot of other things that are there. And the social media currencies is actually being utilized more by marketing companies and product companies, wherein, they need to push their product, right? So this is here to stay. This is absolutely here to stay. And from an education perspective, yes, the last 1.5 years has been an eye-opener for us. Internally, we've changed our strategy so much that we've realized, yes, it works. So instead of spending people, instead of having traveling salesmen, instead of doing outreach programs, we've done outreach programs using the web, using the internet, right? And of course, using social media. So that is where most of my audience is listening, is looking. So yeah, thank you, Daksh. I think that's the gist of what I wanted to say.
Thank you so much, Amogh. Let me try to summarize what you said. I think you added the complete marketing perspective to the discussion, that how does marketing get implemented or spawn across the complete social media spectrum, and most importantly, how effective it is. How is the audience available there for you? When you talk of the 18 to 35 age range, 50% of the population is there on social media, nearly 750 million users in India. That's a very deep internet penetration. And most importantly, it's cheap, it's accessible. And that's the reason for marketing companies, marketing organizations, anybody who's typically looking for a definitive outreach, it's a major chunk of their marketing strategy, which finally translates into currency. So that's one part of the complete discussion, where we talk about its effectiveness, its way of reaching out to every single individual. Now, in the next half of the discussion, or the second part of the discussion, we'll be talking to school leaders on how has that social media impacted the user. Because from the marketing perspective, it's an amazing platform with so many people listening, so much of attention there. But is that attention really helping the community or just the marketeer? So let's try to know it from our amazing school leaders today, who have to set their perspective on, is social media really a currency, or it's just a big lot of nuisance value that we are enjoying throughout. So let me invite the first school leader for today, Ms. Mona Kshetrapal, Academic Director and Cluster Principal of RIMS International School, Boston World School, RIMS Junior College, Pune. Mona ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes, and a very warm welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Daksh, and a very warm greetings to all the panelists and the host. Mr. Amogh has given us very interesting figures, and I think he's covered many. I think he's given us a bird's eye view as to what social media is doing and not doing for us today. But as an education leader and head of institute, I think the challenge for us today is in terms of what all we want to include and what all we should exclude. So the real challenge, if I can bring it down and if I can break it down, is as an educator towards completing the syllabus, towards keeping the children still interested in the books, and also seeing to it that there's actual teaching and learning happening in the online classrooms, which is unfortunately the only medium for us, which is online classrooms. So there has been a lot of challenges, and I agree with Amogh when he says that it has been a bane and a boon, both, because I feel that it has pushed us as an educators to a large extent, where I see today my teachers, they are more equipped, they are more technologically. I think we have taken a leap, probably in 2 decades we would not have done minus the pandemic. So this pandemic definitely has pushed the teachers, and that technological, I think the step that teachers have taken in upgrading themselves has happened in India, and that has really helped us to conduct these online classes without any hiccups. And I'm very happy to share that we are one of the few schools in India who are doing almost 7 to 8 periods every day for across the classes, and our studies, academic studies, planning, everything is going as per what we plan on paper, and students are very responsive. Parents are very happy. So the challenge is there. Yes, children sometimes they don't switch on their cameras. They will unmute themselves. They will do all sorts of naughtiness, like some backdrops they will put in. They'll start playing music. So children are being children. So those challenges are there, which for teacher it becomes easier to control in an offline mode. But in an online mode, the authority of the teacher has reduced drastically. So to an extent, only a teacher can say, "Come on, children, back up, answer me, switch on your cameras, let's participate, let's discuss." But the responses have been mixed. So that is one of the challenge. But other than that, I think definitely when we say that social media has been a currency, it has been, yes, because we are able to showcase what we are doing in our online classrooms to a large extent on the social media, and parents are there. We have a wider audience. We are able to showcase not only our academic perspective, but also other activities, competition, events that we are doing online. And definitely, it has given us a different perspective. It has given us, I think, a lot of eyes who are watching us now. Earlier, it was limited. Now, it has multiplied. So that has definitely, I think, a big boons for our education.
Thank you so much, Mona ma'am. The first 3 minutes were over. Let me try to summarize what you said. The focus of the educator is typically on completing the syllabus. There's a challenge of the curriculum always fighting through time, and you have to typically complete that for every child who's there, part of the whole process. You talked about managing learning through technology. That's where social media, or typically all the media platforms that were available to schools, that proved to be really helpful, and they saved a lot of currency. So we can absolutely say that yes, in the teaching learning process, in some way, social media proved to be a currency. But yes, what we all feel that in the online world, the connection goes for a toss. We are not emotionally connected. There's not the classroom atmosphere, and collaborative learning absolutely goes out the window. So when with all these elements of education and the effectivity of social media in the reach, how do we think the future with it is going to evolve? And most importantly, is there still, I'm repeating the question again, do you still think the kind of time and the kind of effort children waste on social media, does it have a nuisance value or does it not? So let me invite the next speaker for today, invite Mr. Sriniwash Prasad, Headmaster of Harindanga High School from Pakur, Jharkand. Srinivash ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Daksh ji. I'm really getting this opportunity. I'm very happy that I have been given the opportunity to speak on this issue. Since I'm coming from that background where I'm working in a government institution, and in this institution, students normally come from the very lower economical background. They're not having this much of facility to enjoy the social media or that kind of internet facilities. Due to the pandemic situation, we all know the situation is going on, and the students are facing, teachers are facing a lot of problems. For my side, I must say, the students are taking the classes, and teachers are teaching on the basis of their plan on the social media. Definitely, we're using the platform, we are using the different kind of tools and techniques through online teaching. But especially in the government sector, where we see neither teachers nor the students are that much able to utilize that platform. Still, we are trying a lot, and still we are trying to put and give our 100% and more than 100%. As we see in the society, what is happening today, most of the children, most of the students, those who are enjoying or those who are having the social media platform like Facebook or different kind of other platforms where we see they are using different kind of posting different kind of wanted and sometimes some unwanted posts. And when it is liked by so many people, since it's a vast area of this thing, so they get a kind of enjoyment. They get a kind of satisfaction. Yeah, I have been noticed. I have been given a like. I have been given a heard. I have been given by given a kind of notice by the people. So they what they realize it, they enjoy and they think that this is the currency they want in their life. But is it exactly a fact? No, I don't believe this. If they are only having this kind of enjoyment in their life, this is not going to be a currency for them. For my side, it must be a currency. What I think is, since we have got the opportunity to influence people, we have got the opportunity to inspire our student online also. Students are getting a lot of information. We are getting a lot of talent in our school. So they are having the ability to influence the student, and they have the mindset to transform the overall personality of the student. So if students are getting noticed by this way, they are following the teachers, they are idealizing the teachers. So in that way, definitely it could be a currency for ourselves. We definitely just like we have some kind of uh, we have some I should say Facebook pages where I definitely write about the students, their future. So when the student enjoy them, they realize and they follow sometime. So it gives me immense satisfaction. So this could be a currency for me, what I think, because I am working in that way where the student can be transformed. Yeah, definitely. It is also very important. Like nowadays, we can see the teen people, teenagers people, they are creating a lot of things on the internet, on Facebook, or in different social media. Somehow they are earning also because they are putting such a kind of, they are creating such a kind of important things. They are providing such a kind of important information. So they are being liked by the different people, and sometimes it is liked in millions of people. So they are able to get the currency, like they are getting earning also. So if they could utilize this platform in that manner, where they can put the good things, where they can put themselves as an example, which the other people can follow them. So definitely in that case, it would be a great honor for them, and it would be beneficial for the student. And in that case, definitely it will be.
Thank you so much, Srinivas. The 3 minutes were over, but I think you added a good new perspective to the discussion that yes, the economic divide keeps rural India, or typically all the economically weaker sections across the globe, away from the glittery world of social media because they're not that well versed with the internet. On Blub World Web Talks, that's what we try to do, that in each and every discussion, we try to bring in as much geographical divide as much as geographical variety as possible, so that we are able to appreciate an idea or a concept from all its aspects. And when we talk of education globally, the governments typically rule the game, because across the world, government is the biggest player in the education space. So when we talk of people coming in from the government background, this is the kind of perspective that comes in, that they're happy with drawing the satisfaction from the attention that they get on social media, but does that really translate into some form of currency or profession for them in the future is the big question. When they go on social media for monetization, that could in some way become a career prospect for them, but that does not happen with most of the students. Most of them are just spending their time and their attention and not making some money out of it. So thank you so much, Srinivaji. Let me invite the next speaker for today, Mr. Brajesh Kumar Sharma, Principal of Krishna International School from Rajkot, Gujarat. Brajesh ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
Good evening to all. Really great opportunity to speak amongst these great educationists and great experts. According to me, social media, as we know, each and everything is having positive and negative fundamentals. For positivity, as a educator, I can tell it is a very beneficial for the schools as well as for the students as well as for the teachers also. First of all, I will talk about the positivity of the social media currency for the school level. What school level can achieve? The social media gives us to communicate each and everything what you are doing in your school level for the students and all with the community. If I'm talking about the parents, so parents can send their children why in your school they have come to know about just searching the platform of the school, social profile of the school on the social media currency, just like the Facebook and all pages, he can search it. If as a parents, I am just searching a school for my kids, just I will take out my phone and just go on to the Google search and all, and just I will can search any school, and I will go through the social media, social profile of that school completely. So 50 to 60% I will satisfied with the social profile, that I can just admitted my child over there in that school. And something more also about this, it builds us as a online presence about yourself, how you are active, how you are update yourself with the online functions. The social media gives you these things. And the biggest part, biggest benefit of this social media currency, it is totally free. So when we are just going to the market, and if something is buy one get one free, we just go over there. Yes, we can purchase a shirt because one shirt is going to be free. So the social media is also free of cost. You can just publish your school, you can just give anything, advertisement of your school. You can just make the friends on the social media. This is the completely free of cost. You can just give the advantage and disadvantage of each and everything. You can just give your suggestions to the parents why they are just putting their children over in that schools and all. It is very beneficial for the teachers also, because they can
Thank you so much, Brajesh. The 3 minutes were over. Let me try to summarize what you said. You started with social media benefits to students, the kind of outreach that it was building. I think you reverberated with the thoughts of Amogh ji, where he started with the marketing aspect of it, that yes, it creates an amazing outreach for the institution. It creates a lot of attraction. And when you say that the profile typically convinces the consumer to nearly 60 or 70%, I think that's a great lot of lead filtration that happens on social media that's being used across institutions. So you look at it from the perspective of the school. I think we also need to look at it from the perspective of the student or the consumer, because at the end of the day, the social media earns from the attention that it sells. And that attention is a cost for everyone who's there on social media, because we are typically sacrificing real life for the virtual life of it. So thank you so much. Let me invite the next speaker for today, Dr. Reeta Sharma, Principal of BK Senior Secondary School from Bulandshahr, Uttar Pradesh. Reeta, ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio.
Thanks a lot. A warm welcome to all of you. And once again, thanks a lot to Mr. Daksh Gaur, who has given me an opportunity to speak over this topic. A lot of thanks to all of you and all the participants. It is a very relevant and specific topics, as I have just heard the earlier participants who have spoken very well about this topic. So my point of view is that social media currency really it gives some positive insights to each and everyone. And as a school leader and pedagogical leader, I would like to summarize that in this pandemic, if we talk about the hybrid learning classroom, if we talk about the flipped classroom, if we talked about the blending classroom, so it is only possible due to this social media. It cannot be done without the help of social media, and we people know that in the upcoming time we will able to make a most felicitations about such type of classrooms. And on the other aspect, if I would like to say that man is a social creature, and really before saying that thing, if I am just saying that all of us are connected due to this social media, and you know that someone is coming from Gujrat, someone is coming from Maharashtra, and I'm very really glad to see that all my participants are coming from here and there, and really I am very happy to see and to share my views and to learn from all of you. So it is due to the social media. So it is the very very positive sides of social media currency. And as far as it is concerned to Daksh Gaur, while summarizing the conclusion of each and every participant, you generally ask that what it is a boon or it is a nuisance. So it is to a great extent it has become the positive insights to each and everyone, as I am just saying that man is a social creature. So as being a social creature, he wants to establish his own beingness in the society, and it is only due to the possibility, or you can just say the positive possibility due to the social media. We know that everything has its own exceptions. So on the other hand, when we think about the cyberbullying, when we say about the trolling, when we say that something to a great extent, you can just say that there are several issues of cyberbullying. And as far as the pedagogical leader, we are also receiving a lot of circulars on behalf of CBSE, and in the last more than 16 months have gone, and in this pandemic we have received a lot of circulars. We have attended a lot of workshops, a lot of online webinars on behalf of CBSE, and they have tried to expose that what are the positive insights and what are the negative insights. So according to me, if we are just saying that as being a social creature, if we have to establish his own beingness, and as far as it is concerned to the students and the mentees or mentors, it's very prominent in this pandemic that
Thank you so much, Reeta ma'am. I think you talked amazingly about the kind of cyberbullying that happens, the kind of negative atmosphere that's being created for children, and the way educators or school leaders are right now trying to tackle it or handle it through the kind of different circulars and workshops that most of the regulatory institutions are holding across different countries. And when we talk of India, it's typically CBSE. So thank you so much, Reeta ma'am. Let me invite Benazir ma'am once again. Ma'am, Miss Benazir Khan, Principal of Aman Academy from Darbhanga, Bihar. Benazir ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to discuss about the social media currency in teenagers. Although social media can present some risk, but I think there is important and valuable things today's youth. We understand the benefits of to give the child the benefits of to give the benefits of child through the social media, and we can give them the worldly knowledge through the social media. They can make the best thing. They can collect learnings. They collaborate. Children can learn on self. There are many perspectives uh, without social media in old days, but now parents can help each with the help of social media. They can the children are more learning more things, and children can develop their communication. They can develop their skills, technical and communication skill. Mental health well-being also. Uh, Mental health also developed by through the social media. And here social media is a good place where they can strengthen their relationship, or it is a good place to seek a support. And here the youth can campaigning for social goods, and they are for the development of positivity. And there are many teenagers, they are earning through the social media, and they learn many things which we are not able to give on self nowadays. Social the earning in.
Thank you so much, Benazir ji. So up to now, we listened to the opening thoughts of most of the school leaders and the people who were there. Now in the second section, it's an open floor. So if you missed anything, if you want to add something to discussion, you can typically tell us that. So let me invite once again Mr. Amogh Balakrishnan for his closing thoughts on what does he think, that is social media really a currency when looking at it from the perspective of the consumer, the user, or the student, or the teenager, or the audience who's there listening to you.
Hi, thanks again, Daksh. I think so. I've more or less covered everything that I wanted to say in the earlier part of the earlier part. But yes, so now that I have a lot of other perspectives, yes, I think in terms of being a boon, yes, absolutely, it is right out there. The jury is already out, so it is absolutely influential. But yes, there is a flip side to it too. Like one of the panelists mentioned, I think Reema ma'am mentioned cyberbullying and a lot of other things. So that is actually the flip sides. And being part of an education institute, we too get such circulars from the ICT as well as the Department of Technical Education as to how to keep it clean, how to keep the cyberspace clean. Because currently, because of the impact of of these bullying and a lot of other side effects that it has had, it's become a big task internally for all educators as well as marketers to ensure that the message that goes out is right, how to keep it clean and hygienic, the environment. I think that is of importance. So I think both sides should come together in terms of what the message is going across and kind of handle this entire situation. That's my 2 pence on this, Daksh. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amogh. And yes, keeping it clean is the biggest challenge at the moment in the view of the consumer as well and in the view of the content creator as well, or as a marketer as well. The complete atmosphere is so cluttered with so much of content that cannot be, or rather is not being moderated up to that standard, which creates the real challenge for social media right now. But again, I think we could not figure out the real answer to this question, that do we really think that social media is a currency? To some extent, we were able to understand its effectiveness from the user's perspective, but from the person who's consuming or typically spending his attention is something we are not able to get. So I think in the future, we should rather still be thinking on how exactly do we think the utility of social media will change for the learner? Because for the school leaders, I think it's an aspect which now needs to be delved into a much deeper level. So before this call comes to an end, and as we do it most of the Blub World Web Talks, at the end we tell you a story of a teenager, because we work on a simple idea at Blub World of teens inspiring teens. Every month we try to find a teen who's doing amazingly well and try to share their stories with many more teens globally. So one such story for all of you before we conclude this talk. This story is of a girl who's based out of the US. She typically is a painter and known as a painting prodigy. She sold a painting that I think was one of her best paintings at the age of 8 for $100,000 US. And till now, when she's just a teenager, she has made nearly $8 million US just out of selling her passion or her paintings. And that's Autumn DeForest. And we call her the Colors of Autumn, a millionaire who got made only out of passion. So these are the kind of stories that we need to keep telling children, that how do we inspire them, make content that really brings them on the right track. So every month, that's simply what we do, trying to find teens who are doing amazingly well and sharing their stories with many more teens. At the moment, we are trying to build the world's biggest parliament of teenagers. So we invite all of you, all your students, to be a part of the World Teen Parliament. If they can solve a local or a global problem, the World Teen Parliament will fund them so that they can execute their ideas and make a change globally. We're thankful to our partners for supporting the World Teen Parliament. So it's an open invitation for all of you, to your teens, to your students, to be a part of the World Teen Parliament. I hope you enjoyed the Blub World Web Talks 161st episode. If you did, and if you want to the future sessions, you can open your audio, say a big yes, and thank you so much for being a part of this. Have an amazing evening ahead. Namaste.